Welcome to the EV World News broadcast. Here we discuss what is going on with electric vehicles, green energy, and the stock markets. This news is for entertainment purposes only, and this is a supplement to what we have on evworld.com. I have Pro Trader Mike with me this morning. How are you doing today, Mike?
Excellent GM, everybody. Hope you had a nice weekend. Looking for a great week. It's Monday, as you know.
All right, well, let's get right into the news here. Got some interesting article here. So the UK auto industry is having issue. Oh, let me see. It didn't change pages with me. Let me change the page. There we go. We're on auto car from the UK. The industry calls for urgent support as electric car uptake slows. Now, what's interesting, I think the UK pulled a whole lot of their subsidies for people that were buying EVs. And they're having the cost of living crisis combined with increasingly anti-electric car rhetoric is putting a dent in consumer confidence. I think a lot of it is just the fact that interest rates have gotten higher. I mean, as interest rates go up, car sales go down. So I think that's part of it too. But car registrations grew 32% for the first 6 months. That's 37,000 more than the same period in 2022. And a lot of that is the easing of the chip crisis and other supply issues. The market is up 18%, but EV market share growth, once exponential and a key indicator of market health, is much more modest. I don't know, everything can't be hyperbolic all the time, right? So that's an interesting kind of perspective.
Yeah, all
Uh,
the good things take a long time
This
to
is
work out.
interesting. 0.9%, so less than 1% of the market in 2019 to 4.4% in 2020 to 14% in 22. This year it sits at 16%, which I think is a pretty big rise. And
It's
we're
a
talking
nice,
United Kingdom here.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
nice rise for sure.
And way off the 22% level set to be mandated for the government for next year. Well, that does make it a little bit tougher if they're trying to get the 22%. Let's see. What have they got here for 21% of Model Ys and 41% of Mach Es have been sold to private customers. So I guess that means the rest of them all being sold to businesses. Let's see. Could grants boost electric cars? So here we go. They're looking for the industry to get incentives or barriers removed to get electric car sales among private buyers back on track. Let me see. Fiat in the United Kingdom has asked for, they're introducing a £3,000 e-grant for any buyers of the 500 EV. There's a 500 EV for us. This is interesting. You know, I see, obviously it's not growing as fast as they like, but it is continuing to grow and it's growing steady. This is one of the difficulties of trying to regulate market economics, right? It's it's not the market has to do what the market believes is going to be correct. All right, let's see here. Let's look at what Volvo. I've got something kind of interesting from Volvo here, and this is coming from Engadget. So the Volvo EX30 is a $35,000 starting price SUV coming out. So
That
it's a
ain't bad.
compact SUV. It'd be really nice. I mean, when people think safety, they always think Volvo, right? That's always the first brand when people when they think of safety in a car. This is kind of interesting. See what we get for this. A base EX30 with a start at 35,000, a single motor setup, 275-mile range. Yeah, it's definitely quite affordable. 12-inch touchscreen, Android Auto, cyclist detection. Well, that's kind of cool. Pilot assist, rear passenger detection is standard. A Scandinavian minimalist interior. It's available with a dual motor with a 0 to 60 time of 3.4 seconds. That'd be pretty fast.
That is pretty fast. Those dual motor cars like those Lexuses are fast too.
3.4 seconds. Man, that would shock somebody. It's like drag racing in the Volvo, right? I've seen some arguments that if nothing else, one of the things that would get a lot of car enthusiasts, I think, to drive electric cars, just the fact that they're so fast. It's, the acceleration
Yeah.
has a lot going for it. Now, it does say that in the rear, it's a bit tight. Let's see, but it's only 166 inches long, 61 inches tall, and as an SUV, it's about the same size as a Chevy Bolt.
Yeah, it's nice looking for sure.
Yeah, it has nice style for it. And they're already taking $500 deposits for some of them to come out for next summer. I think that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
$35,000 SUV. Do you want to go ahead and pull up Volvo? I know that's a Swedish stock.
Let me see if I can pull it up on my Yahoo Finance.
OLV.
Volvo.
On
Yeah.
the Stockholm Exchange.
VOLCAR dot
Yeah, Volcar.
BST. Yep. $52 stock. Right here. So
Man,
before we get into this, guys, now we're going, we get into the good part of the show. We're doing the stock part. You guys love the charts. Give us a like and a subscribe. You see that come up right there? And no. And when you click the bell, YouTube will send you an email when David and I go live. David's the master. So yeah, this Volvo car, check this one out. He wants us to look at public at $52 a share. Let's look at year to date. Yeah, year to date, it's up there.
and look, back in May, it was only at $37. It's up
Yeah,
almost 50% from there.
it's like it's going to could if they pay a dividend, this is a nice dividend kind of paying stock. How you got in here, pays a dividend. Do they pay a dividend? Full speed ahead and transformation with a solid business. Here's the EX30. Will also be its cheapest car, Volvo. Polestar, we spoke about that one the other day, guys. So check out our other video the other day about Polestar. Yeah, AI is going to transform this whole industry as well. Absolutely. What do you think about, I was hearing this weekend about a little bit maybe of a market correction because it's been up so much with the major banks lowering inflows of money into the market, which has been, I saw the graph, it's definitely on the downturn and at a very low point.
Right, we're
And
constricting
corp
the money supply.
and corporate earnings on companies slowing down. And it's always been that the market's been driven by corporate earnings in anticipation of a bright outlook and higher earnings. You would want to buy that stock. But if earnings are slowing and monies from banks are getting less into the market, it was from Duncan Financial. I see him on Saturday morning when I watch, turn the television on. I always see that guy, and he makes a lot of sense sometimes. He has a good macroeconomic view of the markets. So, you know, beware of what you purchase out there when you purchase it. And, dollar cost averaging is a good thing. If you like something, you don't got to jump in 100%. If it's going to go from 10 to 20, you could buy some at 10 and buy some at 12 and 14. And then you have a good cost basis and the thing goes to 20, you're always ahead of the game rather than going all in at 10 and then it goes down to 7, you get stopped out and then it goes back to 10 and to 20 where you want it to. So, trading is a way to do the game correctly. And yeah. So I'm
So
just
one of
taking
the
a
things
couple
I've
profits
noticed
here on my
lately
trade.
is with the interest rates going up and after COVID, with people working from home, the commercial real estate markets have been just nobody wants to lend. on commercial real estate like office and retail and things like that. And it's really changed the nature of things. It's going to need some interest rate reduction at some point to help
Mm-hmm.
correct that market.
Gotcha.
All right, let me go on to our next news article today. Let's see here. And we've talked a little bit about Fisker recently because we were looking at their truck a few days ago. So this is from Car and Driver. So the
Nice.
Fisker Ocean seeks to ride the EV wave. Let's see. Henrik Fisker, jack of all trades. He was at BMW and he worked on the Z8 and the Aston Martin DB9.
Mm-hmm.
And he's originally Fisker, the original Fisker Automotive had this car called the Fisker Karma, and it went bankrupt in 2013. And new investors came in, started getting back into it with the Ocean crossover at 2021, and they're starting to deliver these at 71,400. So it's higher end, in my opinion,
Yeah.
higher
You
end.
know, you do a Google search and go Justin Bieber Fisker. Look at his Fisker. We could
Let's
tag him in the video too.
all right.
He has a chrome Fisker.
Let's see here.
Justin Bieber. It's an amazing looking car, dude. That thing goes down the road, you're like, oh my gosh, really?
Let's see here. It's not just chrome.
See, he's got that's Justin Bieber's Fisker.
Oh, that is a shiny car.
Yeah, he has a chrome car. But you go down the road and that thing is an amazing looking car, man.
Well, you know who it is, right? So he can't drive too fast.
Yep, because he'll get pulled over like that cop's giving him a ticket right there.
Yeah, 2000. Oh, the picture's a 2012 Fisker Karma. That's
It's 102,000.
yeah, impressive vehicle. Impressive vehicle. Do you want to go ahead and I've had some requests to look at the FSR stock and see what you think about it for
FSKR.
yeah as a somebody that's holding it if they should
Fred
continue to
Sam.
hold.
Fred Sam Robin FSR. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. We'll take a look at the daily, the weekly, see where this thing's been. So here's the daily. And since this is only going back, let me see, I can go back a little more here to February. In February, like the beginning of the year, this baby was up at $8. The high on that peak was $8.59. So it's made some testes.
It
So
almost cut in
right there,
half.
you can just put that line right there. You could see it. It's at the top of that, and the top of this, and the top of that. You see that?
Yes.
Top of this, that's where it's got to go break to the upside to make it go higher. And right down here, you can see it. There's a double. There's a 1 right there, and there's another one right here. Look, very easy to see. Anyone in there, you know, 5-year-old could put the line at the bottomest red or green, and they would be able to do that. So that's 101 charting, guys, right there. Bottom of 433, bottom there of 488, top of 693. So it's got to break 693 through 7 to make it really rock, and it's got to really break down under $5 right here to go retest 433. So that's scary on the downside if it shall ever break down there. But it's in this little box between 5 and 7. That's a big range.
I'm bullish on this company. They really haven't had any bad news in
Well,
years.
comparing it to Tesla, there's Tesla. So
Okay.
Tesla in May went up from 150 to 300. It went up 100%. And this one since May went from 5 to 6, where it is now. It actually went to 7, so it went from 5. So it went up nicely, but it didn't double in price. But
Nice.
yeah, I don't have enough research on the company to make a play on it.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, it's always worth looking at
I
to
saw a
see how.
Rivian this weekend, one of those RIVN cars, a Rivian. I saw one at the Texas Roadhouse in the parking lot. It was all
I
right.
I
It
would
was,
think where you live, you'd see lots of them. I have a
yeah,
neighbor that
it
has
was
a
all right.
Rivian pickup.
It wasn't that nice. The rims were didn't like the rims. The rims are
um,
like, flat and stuff, like right even with the it's not like in, they don't go in like honeycomb or like cool rims and stuff. Rims make a car, you gotta have good rims.
well, you live in a car show universe where you live in Florida. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you see all the nice cars there. Whereas in Omaha, Nebraska, we don't really see quite as much of the nice
Tractors.
vehicles. Yeah,
Some good
well,
looking tractors.
I was commenting last week that I finally started seeing the Rivian electric Amazon vans driving around. That's something that's
Yeah.
not something we see as much here. We don't have the adoption here like you have in
Hmm.
Florida. And in Florida, you have nothing like when you go to California. You go to California, they're everywhere. It's interesting to see the differences in
Hmm.
communities as to where I don't think the extra rebates that California offers hurts though. I mean, it's a big incentive, an extra few $1,000s, generally like $5,000 extra of an incentive to buy an EV in California that you don't
Gotcha.
get in the rest of the country. So that's a big thing. Well, anyways, Mike, as always,
Yeah,
thanks for being on today. We appreciate
absolutely.
everybody listening into our
And we're
broadcast
working on
today.
some big things, some new developments and services and things that we know people listening to this would want to have the opportunity to do some research on. So we're going to be bringing some new things to the table. So stay tuned, everybody. Click the link below and the bell and notify and give us a like. So when we go live, you get notified. So thanks and give us a like, guys. Yes, do that.
All right. Thanks, Mike.